thoughts and tributes and what you're snacking on, Liz. Liz digging canoe, bringing you together. Liz digging canoe, get ready for the show.
Good morning to everyone. Welcome to Coffee with Liz. I, of course, am Liz. Hoping my coffee will be delivered soon. Oh my goodness. Wow. Every Sunday morning, we have a casual conversation with a YouTube personality. It could be somebody who likes to go metal detecting, magnet fishing, bottle digging, dump digging, gold prospecting, coin roll hunting, who knows what it could be. But if that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing to the channel. And when you do, remember to hit that notification bell and tell YouTube that you want to be advised whenever I go live or upload a video. Oh my goodness. Had a couple technical difficulties this morning. Oh my goodness. Everyone, please take like a second and a half and hit the like button on this stream. It not only helps the stream to rank a little bit higher, but just one day, we just might be suggested on someone's homepage. How crazy would that be? That would be like super duper crazy. Today, I have a great show with an amazing guest, Detector from Florida. We're going to be chatting with her in just a little bit. If you have some questions for her, put an @DiggingCanuck and with your question, and that'll get my attention on my chat screen here. And I will do my best to ask the questions that that you would like to have an answer to. Before we do that, I need to say hello to each and every one of you. So yeah, if you weren't there, I wouldn't be here, and there would be no show. So I'm going to say hello to all of you. Hopefully not miss anybody. All right. The lovely Linda Wallace, very first person in the chat. So Linda, thank you so much for joining. Oh my goodness, my coffee has been delivered. Cheers to all of you. Yes, this is a Digging Canuck mug, and they are available. There are 3 variations. They are available in the Teespring store, and I do believe there is a link in the description of this live stream. That is a shameless plug, but yeah, Christmas is coming, and it would make a great gift. Hint. Right on. Cheers to all of you, whatever it is that you are drinking and whatever time of the day it is. So right on. Wow, that's really hot. Wow, that is really hot. All right, so the Jaguar, King of the Jungle, in the chat. Thank you so much for joining. GTA Dave, Mark Thomas, Exploring with the Nug, Jeremy, another scuba/water detectorist. Welcome. Treasure Talk in the house. They also have a live stream every Monday that you can watch on Facebook or on YouTube. So how cool is that? Bandidos de la Detección. Saludos, amiga, desde Argentina. Bandidos. Bienvenidos. Hola. Truly international. Thank you so much, Argentina, for joining us this morning. Thin Blue Diggers. Mayor Videos. Oh my goodness. Did I say Mark Thomas? I think I did, Mark. Who can forget you? David Frazier. David, thank you very much for joining today. I do appreciate that. Lost Ways Detecting and Treasure Hunting says good morning. Good morning to you. Malaysia. Metal Detector in the house, Malaysia. We have Argentina. Now we have Malaysia. Like I said, truly, truly, truly international. And do not be afraid to check out videos from a creator in another country whose language you may not understand or speak, because fines are fines anywhere on the planet. So check out other creators from countries that you may not speak the language. Always a good thing. Always a good thing. Open your, I guess, broaden your scope of stuff that you watch. What else? Tin Cup Tim in the house, as is Tripwire, Straight Up Metal Detecting. Thank you both for watching me. Straight Up Metal Detecting, Tripwire just made a huge donation from all the stuff that, from all the clad and all the metal and all that stuff that he detected in the month of November. Just made a huge donation to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. So very, very wonderful thing for you to do. And thank you for doing that. I think according to this, I'm at the bottom of my list. So right on. All right. So I think you're all like waiting to do the conversation with 𝗔𝗔𝗗𝗓𝗏. So let's do that. Let me bring her up on the screen, and I am hoping that this is without a hitch. Fingers crossed, everyone. Let's do this. All right. Let's see here. All right. Let us bring 𝗔𝗔𝗗𝗓 into the chat. All right. Let's see if we can hear her. Hello. Hey!
Can you hear me?
Yes. We can hear you. We can see you. Wonderful. I just want to say,
Great.
Welcome to the stream. I have been wanting to have you as a guest for quite some time, and I am so very happy that you're here today.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you asked me to be on. This is my first time doing this, so I'm really excited.
Fantastic. You detect in the great state of Florida. Now,
Yes.
I think that probably the majority of the detectorists that are watching this are rather envious of you, not only for the weather, but you can detect all year long. You don't have any downtime, do you?
Yeah, no, not really. I mean, you can always hit the beach no matter like what time of year it is. Whether or not you get in the water is like a whole different story though. So yeah, it depends on what you're willing to tolerate, I guess.
Right on. What? Now, you said about getting into the water, whether or not you want to get into the water. Now, what kind of a temperature would make you not go in or not want to go into the water?
Well, gosh, I don't know. So like I'm a pretty big, I don't know, I guess sissy when it comes to cold water. So really anything below like 72-ish is really, really cold to me. But I know there's people up in like Jersey who detect in much colder water and they just kind of deal with it, I guess. So I don't know. Good on them.
Yeah, it's funny how it's it's all relative. Because
Yeah.
what's cold for you might just be like a typical day for somebody up in the north.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, you've been especially people like as far north as you are in Canada. So
Yeah, and another thing about beach detecting, you never really run out of stuff to find because like people keep I guess repopulating or replenishing your finds, as well as you never know what the currents and stuff are going to bring in.
yeah, for sure. Definitely. Especially if you have like a nice little storm, right off the shore, then that definitely helps with the wave action and bringing, new stuff up and even bringing old stuff up. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So you're really never, there's always something for you to dig or find.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yep. All the time. There's always tourists coming down and, they pretty much go to every beach. And, unfortunately, people do end up losing their items when they're at the beach. But I guess it works out for beach hunters. So
Exactly. Now,
Mhm.
let's go to the beginning. What got you started into metal detecting? Like, did you see other people? Like, how did this come about?
Yeah, so funnily enough, I was watching YouTube one day and a recommended video popped up, and it was some guy. He was in a different country. I don't know where he was at, but he had that small handheld vibratector. And I think he was in a river maybe or something, but he was just going along and finding coin after coin after coin. And I was like, wow, that's really cool. And so I told my husband, Heat Detector, I was like, hey, I want to get a metal detector. And so I was going to dive right in. I immediately started looking at like the PI machines, although at that time I didn't know what a PI was.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was just like, well, this one over here, this is an Excalibur. I hear really good things about it. And I was ready to dive all in, but $1,500 is a pretty, big amount of money to drop on. Will I like this or not?
Mm-hmm.
And so he convinced me to go with the Sea Hunter, which was about half the price, which is still expensive, but not as expensive as an Excalibur. And so I got the Sea Hunter, and that was kind of where it all started. And then I just kind of went from there.
Now the Sea Hunter, is that a Garrett machine?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay. Is it still relevant today, or is that machine still made today, or is that like one of those big clunky things, or?
It is kind of clunky. It's pretty heavy. It does take, I think it's like 8 AA batteries, so it is pretty heavy.
Wow.
I think they still I feel like they probably still make it. I mean, it's a diving machine, so you can go 200 feet deep with it.
Okay.
So I feel like they probably still make it.
Yeah. Now, your channel, you created a YouTube channel in 2015. Was that because you saw other people with their channel, or you wanted to share your videos, or how did creating your own channel come about?
Yeah. So honestly, it kind of was more like I have no idea what I'm doing, and people might get a kick out of my lack of knowing what I'm doing. So I started it, and I truly wanted it to be, like a fun thing. My lack of experience would be funny to most people, I figured. But I wanted it to be about the metal detecting. So that was one reason, like for the first, I don't know, maybe year or two of my channel, I never showed my face. All you ever saw was like legs down. So it was truly about metal detecting and the finds.
Yeah. And I think that people, I know I myself find it more relatable to watching videos, channels that are kind of like on perhaps my level or just a little bit higher than me. Like I'm not saying like professional people, but people starting out. It kind of helps you realize that, you're not doing too bad. Like this person's kind of like finding stuff like me and kind of acting like me. I think the relatable, and I think that was a big deal with your success was you're very relatable.
Yeah. And, I think that's great that a lot of people do feel like they can relate to me and my finds. I mean, am I envious of some of those larger channels out there? Yeah, of course. And they're out there finding like cell phone and laptop and gun and all of this cool stuff. And I'm like, I don't know where they're hunting that they're finding all of these amazing things. But, that's not what I find. If I did, that'd be great. But I get comments all the time of like, hey, you found more trash than you found like good targets. That's what my hunts look like. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's my typical hunt.
Yeah. And I, it's for me, and this is me, but you can only watch So, like, you can only watch a video after, like you said, another cell phone, got another cell phone, another pair of sunglasses, another pair of sunglasses. After the second or third, I want to see something else.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I definitely know what you mean. I mean, yeah, sure. I'm sure these people do find, some of that stuff I don't know, maybe I'm just being a cynic or something. It just seems too good to be true almost. Like I want to go hunt where they hunt.
Is it on your digs? Is it fair to say that a video, one video actually encompasses a dig for you, like a day out is a video?
Yes, yeah. I think there's been maybe 2 or 3 videos where I put a couple of days hunt into one video. And those are generally the days where I don't find anything. Like it's legit gum wrappers the whole day, nothing good. And I'm like, okay, I know people can relate to this kind of day, but at the same time, I don't want to just show people like, hey, I was out hunting for 3 hours today and I found like a pound of gum wrappers and that's it. So I'll combine a couple of days, but I've only done that like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. And like I said, this goes back to the relatability because especially a lot of new viewers that are or new hobbyists see a lot of these bigger channels and it's like silver. I don't know, like 24 karat gold bracelet, but I don't believe that is the norm. I really don't.
No, yeah, I completely agree with you, and you're right, it's not. And I think sometimes it does give people like false hope, thinking that okay, well maybe I can make a living, not necessarily off of what you find, but hey, if I make a channel and I'm finding all of this cool stuff, I'll be able to make a living off of YouTube. And it's like that's not really the case for the majority of people out there. So it is almost like false advertising, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. Totally agree with you. Now, you mentioned the Garrett Sea Hunter. That was the very, very first video that you actually posted was you detected with the Sea Hunter. How long before you changed detectors from that Sea Hunter?
Gosh, I think I was using that one, I feel like for at least a year, because, my channel didn't grow still like overnight. It took, several months, I would say. And then it was after that, I think 𝗥𝗔𝗗𝗧𝗏 were the first ones to reach out to me. Or no, you know what? I think I might have reached out to Ron over at the 𝗥𝗔𝗗𝗓𝗏 metal detectors because I didn't have a scoop when I first started. I had a shovel.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had reached out to Ron and them because they made the T-Rex scoop, and I had done a bunch of research, and I was like, okay, I'm seeing a lot of good things about the T-Rex. Let me see if these guys would be willing to sponsor me by giving me a scoop. And so I reached out to them, and then that's when I first started working with Ron. And then it was, I don't remember how long after, but that's when 𝗥𝗔𝗗𝗧𝗏 reached out to me. And I was like, okay, this could be a lot better, and that's how it kind of got into trying out all the different machines. And I do still work with Ron at the 𝗥𝗔𝗗𝗓𝗏 metal detectors. So I work with a couple of different people, so it's nice. It works out. But yeah, I had the Sea Hunter, I think for at least a year.
Do you still have it? Like, do you when you upgrade a machine, do you keep the old one?
Yes. So some of the machines I have bought with my own money. So I do still have the Sea Hunter, and occasionally I'll take it out. Like if I haven't used it for a while or something, I'll be like feeling a little nostalgic, I guess, if you will. And so I'll go grab, Beaker is what I called my Sea Hunter. I'll take Beaker out for a day and, we'll go do some metal detecting.
Yeah. All right on. Hey, I just want to, there's a bunch of new names in the chat. I want to thank everyone who is joining us today. And I know that there's a lot of new people that are here to see Kay, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming into the stream. I just want to say a little shameless plug before we get back to the conversation. If you have come over from She Detector's channel, I wouldn't mind if you watch some of my videos. Give me a little chance, and if I've earned your subscription, then I kindly ask that you please subscribe to my channel. I would really, really appreciate it. Just want to say, Russia in the house. Vladimir is in the house. Vladimir, thank you so very much for joining. We got we've got Russia, we have Argentina, and we have Malaysia. We probably have a couple other countries in there. Thank you all. Thank you all for joining me. I really appreciate that. Right on. You were saying about you started saying that. You named your MK2. People might wonder when they watch one of your videos when you start talking about Rex or Beaker or that sort of thing. But you do name your equipment, do you not?
I do. Most of like the first things that I started out with do have names. I've stopped naming stuff now because now I have so many that I have to, I don't know, put a sticky note of whose name is what because I'll forget. But yeah, so Beaker, my Sea Hunter Mark II is named Beaker. And then I finally did buy an Excalibur. And my Excalibur is named Ringer or 𝗥𝗔𝗗𝗓𝗪𝗢 because I believe I have found like 90% of all of my rings I found with my Excalibur.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and then I think I named my pinpointer, my scoop is Rex. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I should probably put name tags on everybody.
Get a label maker and just put a label on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. My gosh. When you go to a new beach, do you have a plan of attack or because I know with myself very, very early on when we used to go on vacation, I'd be all like, hoo, hit the beach. No plan whatsoever. I had absolutely no idea about like the currents, what they would do to the sand or anything like that. What should somebody watching you, watching one of your videos, what tips can you give them as far as getting a plan? Because you have to have a plan, otherwise you're just going all over the place. What should we do when we hit a beach with the plan of or with the intent of finding treasure?
Yeah, it is definitely good to have a plan for sure. It helps to keep, like you said, from just kind of wandering around aimlessly. Some of the things that I look for or that I kind of check out before going to a beach is I'll check the tides to see if it's low tide or high tide or when the next low tide is. So also, I'll kind of keep an eye on the weather. So like if it's been, really choppy out, obviously there's going to be more wave action, which is good for bringing up the targets, but then it could also be bad for, making some of them kind of sink down a little bit deeper if they're heavy. And then really just kind of working the tide line and then working the towel line without, obviously getting in anybody's way or irritating anybody. But I definitely, as far as like gridding and stuff, I don't necessarily do a grid section per se. Like generally I will zigzag up and down from the towel line down to the water line and then kind of zigzag my way across that way. But it is good to check it out first. But if you're like, I prefer to go at low tide because then you have more kind of surface area where there was water and where people were swimming. But if you go and it happens to be high tide, like, don't let that get in your way. Don't be thinking, oh, it's high tide, I can't detect. Still go. You never know. You might find some good stuff. So.
Right. Now, when most of the beach detectors that we see are actually, they're hunting like in the sand, in the wet sand, and the dry sand. When sometimes you see people that are like up to their necks detecting. When would you do that? Is there a reason to even do that?
Yeah, definitely. I guess it depends on where you go, but that is kind of like the best place to go in the water, because that's where people will probably throw a football around, and then that's when their rings come off. Or if they're
Ah.
just swimming even laps or just kind of horsing around, necklaces get broken, earrings fall out, rings fall off. Like, it'll happen in the water. And then, if you're sitting up on the beach tanning, you get hot and sweaty, you go in the water to cool off, and then like your fingers will shrink up a little bit in the cooler water. So that's when the rings fall off. So,
Yeah.
and sunglasses too. Most sunglasses, as soon as they come off, they go straight down. They don't float. So you'll find, a bunch of sunglasses, just a lot of stuff out there. And I do enjoy hunting in the water. I would love to hit Clearwater Beach more, but the wave action there is generally pretty strong, at least for me. So I can't go terribly deep, like maybe about waist deep, because any deeper than that, then the waves start pushing me around, and then I'm losing targets because the waves are moving me away from the targets.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah,
I got.
yeah.
So, for new people, what would do they need to spend a lot of money to be a beach detector, like, or detectorist? What are the bare bones equipment, I guess, bare bone equipment that someone needs to be a beach detector?
Yeah, no, you don't have to spend a lot of money to get into it. And, that is also something that I think a lot of people have a misconception about, is that it's a super expensive hobby. I mean, yes, it can be for sure, but it doesn't have to be. So you could head out with, a very simple like Bounty, or the Mind Lab Go Finds. Those are really, really good entry level machines. You can't take them in the water like you can a sea hunter. They're not completely submersible, but they will get the job done. They will find the coins. They will find, the jewelry, so long as, it's a decent size. Like, if it's a super thin gold chain, you might not find that with a Go Find or a Bounty Hunter. But you never know. And you can get one of those machines for less than like $150, and then you don't have to have a scoop. It would be helpful, yes, to sift out the sand, but you could go out there with like a little garden shovel from, Walmart for a couple of bucks. And then just kind of go out and see what you find. You don't have to spend hundreds of dollars to go out and have a little fun.
Yeah, because well, I think that probably the top of the line beach detector, would that be an 𝗥𝗡𝗪𝗓, as far as like price wise?
That depends on, well, price rise. Yeah, the 𝗥𝗡𝗪's pretty up there. Let's see, the new one, the Equinox, I think is cheaper than the 𝗥𝗡𝗪𝗓, and I've heard really good things about it. What is it? The MX 3030, I think it is. The 3030 is, I feel like that one is more than the 𝗥𝗡𝗪𝗓. But those guys, those two are pretty much the top that I would think your average detectorist would probably spend. I mean, there are some more, much more expensive units out there, but I think it's more stuff that like the military uses, or maybe commercial companies might use, stuff like that. But I don't think your average hunter is gonna, drop like $3 or $4 grand on a metal detector.
No. So someone can take a real beginner machine and be, well, they might not be successful. Let's just say they could find stuff at the beach without having to go into the water, because a lot of the lower end detectors are, like you said, are not rated to go in the water. So you could actually have a lot of fun just doing the sand.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Especially like a super popular beach like Clearwater Beach. If you go out there pretty much after sunset, because a lot of people will stay on the beach and watch the sunset out over the water. But then once the sun's gone, most of the people clear out. But that is a perfect time for hunters to go out and hit the towel line, and all the hotels have put away all their chairs and umbrellas. So, right, those little areas are perfect, and it's away from the water. It's going to be dry sand, so it's not even going to be wet-ish. It's going to be very dry sand. You can take like a $50 machine and just go hit those areas, and you're going to find coins. There are always coins there. Always, it's 100% guaranteed you're going to find coins.
Oh, right on. What about you said you don't need a scoop, but some of those scoops, and we're not even talking like the entire scoop. We're not even talking the shaft. That could be a lot of money too for somebody to lay out on like a hardcore scoop.
Yeah, for sure. The T-Rex scoops, I think those are going for probably about $150 right now. The Cedo scoops, probably about $150 or so. And you're right, they don't come with the handle. You have to supply your own handle, which those aren't terribly expensive. It's just I think it's called a replacement like rake or shovel handle that you can get at Lowe's for like $10. But to drop, $150 on a scoop and then $10 more for a handle, it can add up.
Yeah.
But you're right, you don't need the big one. You can, you can use like a little shovel, or you can get some handheld scoops for maybe like $30 at like Calico. They sell a couple of smaller handheld ones that are cheaper too.
Or you can make your scoop, and I think I saw a video of you at the very, very, very early on. I actually laughed.
Yes.
I did laugh, I must say. But
because I was still starting out, and I was just like, oh yeah, no, these guys go and spend hundreds of dollars on scoops. I'm like, that's crazy. We can make our own. I was like super convinced that it was gonna work.
Yeah.
And, we put something together, and I think it worked a little bit, but overall, I mean, it was just not a good design. I think I probably would have been better off just using like a garden shovel instead of trying to, I don't know, piece some like monstrosity together.
But you see, this all goes back to the fact that you're very, very relatable. You're very relatable to people watching your videos. If you have, this is to the viewers. If you haven't seen the video of the homemade scoop, watch it. It's actually kind of funny, and I'm sure it's something that we've all thought about. When you see the price on some of these scoops, you're like, well, I could probably make one myself.
Yeah.
That was fine. I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing with you. That was very.
Yeah, no, it's fine if you were laughing at me, because now as an experienced hunter, now if I were to see somebody trying to Frankenstein a scoop together, I'd be like, that's never gonna work. What are you doing?
Exactly. Hey, have you ever been, you said that the best time to go is at night at a beach when the tourists clear out. Have you ever been to a beach and it's just like line, bam, 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 a ton of detectorists trying to get on one beach, or do you usually, is it kind of by yourself?
It depends on which beach you go to. So, I keep mentioning Clearwater Beach, but it is probably one of the most well-known beaches in my area. And like normally I'll go in the morning to hit it, before all the chairs and stuff are set up. But you'll see other hunters there, especially if it's on the weekend. You'll see probably 5 or 6 other detectorists all kind of just throughout the beach area. I don't really know about nighttime. I've only done night detecting at Clearwater Beach maybe like 2 or 3 times. And so I really couldn't see if there were other hunters like out there. I'm sure there were. I just maybe didn't see them. But for sure in the morning, you're going to be competing for space with other hunters at the popular, beaches.
Yeah. Yeah. Our friend Vladimir from Russia asked a question. He was wondering, as far as the scoops, what's the best, like the hole diameter? Do you want small holes in your scoop, or do you want the bigger holes, or what's a good I guess hole diameter?
Yeah, so that really depends, honestly. So, like me personally, if I'm hunting in the water, I prefer smaller hole diameters because the little stud earrings can easily fall through your scoop
Mm.
and you'll have no idea. Like, eventually, you'll probably figure, like, okay, yeah, it's definitely an earring if it keeps falling out.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you're hunting in not the super dry sand, but like the wet-ish sand,
Yeah.
I prefer a larger hole diameter because the sand will clump up and get stuck in the holes of the scoop.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, and I hate to say you almost want two scoops, one for water and one for the sand.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, that's a really hard one. I mean, you could easily take a big hold scoop into the ocean. You just might lose some of your stud earrings.
Ah, okay.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of, I don't know. You'll catch the rings, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
You'll probably catch most necklaces if they still have the pendants and stuff still on them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like if I know I'm going to be hunting in the water, I'll take my T-Rex scoop with me because it has slightly smaller holes than my Ceto scoop. I'll take my Ceto scoop if I'm going to be not in the water as much because it's got the bigger holes.
Okay. All right. That's
Yeah.
fair. Vladimir, I hope we answered your question. So do you find more jewelry or do you find more coins? What's your experience?
Ooh, gosh. I think more coins for sure. I've got this one island off of, where we live. I call it Coin Island because every time I go hunting here, I always find coins. I don't know, how they're getting there because you don't really see a lot of people doing
Yeah.
like surfing or, what's that? Is it not parasailing,
Oh,
but kite surfing, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you don't see people doing that out there. So I don't know where all these coins are coming from.
Mm-hmm.
But because of that island and then a couple of hunts at Clearwater Beach, I think I find a ton more coins than I do jewelry.
Okay. Mark Thomas asked a question before we even started. He wanted to know, have you found your silver coin yet?
No, I have not. I have yet to find a silver coin. I have, I think, 2 or 3 silver coins. When the Central Florida metal detectors did their shindig, I think it might have been last year, I think is when I went. They had, a silver shootout, and I got like 2 or 3 of those coins, but I didn't find them.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have a metal detector and dig them up. So I don't think they count.
Only if you want them to count.
Yeah, exactly.
So those coins that
I'm still looking.
Oh, I'm sorry. I interrupted you. I apologize for
You're
that.
fine.
So those coins that you do find I would think most of them would be corroded.
Yes, they are heavily corroded because they do find the majority of them either in the salt water or like the wet-ish sand where it's still, salt water is in there. So yeah, they are heavily corroded. Some of them not as bad because they're fresher drops. But for the most part, yeah, like if you look in my coin jar, pretty much all of the coins have like a layer of crud on them and they've got that green patina and they're all eaten away. Like, I don't think they're serviceable coins anymore.
Now, I've saw a couple videos on your channel where you used a sonic cleaner to clean some coins, but I don't think that you got the results that you thought perhaps you might.
Yeah, no, the sonic cleaner, when it comes to the coins that are corroded by the salt water, it doesn't really do much for them. It'll get, a layer of the crud off, but it's not going to be as clean as it would be if I put it in a rock tumbler.
Okay.
But, it was kind of, again, I was still learning and I was like, oh, well, this will totally take off this crud. Like, it's sonic cleaner. Why not? Why wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So,
The results weren't that great, really. They weren't.
No, they were terrible results.
So what do you do?
I did my little experiment too with putting the coins in like Coke and olive oil and I don't
Yeah.
know, other concoctions. And yeah, none of them really came out with like a super clean coin.
Yeah. Now you see that again makes you, I think. Oh, we got a super chat. I'm gonna do a little dance. That was the �38 Diggers, a great family channel from Ontario, Canada. Thank you, �38. He says, "Happy holidays from the �38 digging crew." Thank you so much for that. I do appreciate that. What do you do with all those coins? Because if they're corroded, it's not like you can take them back or to the bank or spend them. What do you do with them?
Yeah, so I just have my coin jar that I put all of my coins in. And then I now have separate jars because I have a coin jar and then I have another jar that has like all of my jewelry, and I keep all the toy cars that I find. And a couple of other little children's toys and stuff, like the little ones, I'll keep all of those. So now I have two separate jars, a coin jar and an other jar.
Mm-hmm. Wow, you must find a lot of toy cars.
I have a couple. I think it's still less than 10.
Oh.
But yeah, so it's not as many as you would think, honestly. I don't know, maybe some kids, I think the ones that I have found, they've been buried. So obviously when the parents were packing it up, they didn't see them because they had been buried.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, I do like finding the toy cars though. They're cute.
Yeah, I get a little kick out of that too. I do. Now, have you ever found any like, well, maybe I'm going to ask you anyway. Have you found any like high value or super rare coins? Or are they just pretty much clad?
It's pretty much clad. I think I don't know, coolest coin that I found was my Buffalo Indian head nickel. I'm trying to remember the year. I want to say it was from like the 1950s. That's the most rarest coin that I've found, which really age-wise, it's not that terribly old compared to
still
other coins that, yeah, it's my coolest one so far.
Heck, I'd be thrilled if I found a buffalo. Like, are you kidding me? Wow. And you found one on the beach. That's kind of, that's been there a long time.
Well, actually, the Buffalo Indian head one, I found that when I was digging a curb strip. And I'm actually surprised I found it because it was right next to, I think it was a stop sign. I mean, it was like 3 or 4 inches away from the stop sign pole, which was metal. So just the simple fact that I found it was really cool. And yeah, but that one I found digging a curb strip.
Right on. Okay. What's your best jewelry find at the beach?
Ooh, gosh. I think it's a tie. So the very first ring I found was a men's platinum wedding band. And that one I actually returned back to the owner.
Oh, right on.
And then the second one that would be a tie with that ring is I did a ring find for a guy here in my area where he lost it fishing, and I went out and I found it and was able to return it back to him. So those two I think are tied for first.
Wow, right on. So have you found like maybe a ring or something that's like just the perfect size for your finger? Have you found stuff that that you actually wear?
No, I've never worn any of the stuff that I've found. Like I might put it on like my finger just to see what size, but like I don't wear it out and about. And there's really not a reason why. I guess I've never thought of it actually.
Okay. All right. Now going back to your videos, I was going through your videos because I go through everybody's videos when I have a little chat with them, and I gotta say that I counted, and I probably missed some, but I counted 15 metal detectors that you've tried or used throughout your I guess YouTube career. Now, you are not brand loyal.
Correct. Yes, I am not brand loyal, and that's intentional. I have been asked to be brand loyal, but I felt like if I did that, it would be taking away from the overall experience of my channel, which has really always been about trying and reviewing metal detecting gear. And I think to go brand loyal, it would take away from that. I wouldn't be able to try out every brand. And so, I've intentionally stayed, not brand loyal. And that's kind of, when a company approaches me about a sponsorship, I will let them know right off the bat, like, hey, I'd love to try out, this machine or that machine, but I'm not going to be brand loyal. Are you okay with that? And if they are, great. If they aren't, then, okay, that's their choice. And I understand it. I get it.
I'm gonna actually name the 15 machines that you've used on your channel. Now,
okay.
When I say the machine, just give me a one sentence wrap up of your experience with the machine. All right.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
All right. Fisher, the Fisher F19.
Great machine. The coil that I had was perfect for coin shooting, and that's the one that I found my Buffalo Indian head nickel with.
Ah, okay. White's MX Sport.
Ooh, MX Sport is a good machine. I'd consider it intermediate. It can go to 10 feet deep. It did great here in the saltwater, and it's also good on land.
Okay. Garrett AT Pro.
Ooh, AT Pro I like for land hunting. It didn't really play well with the saltwater for me, but land hunting, great machine.
Excalibur 2.
Oh, ringer. I love my Excalibur 2. Highly recommend it for any beach hunter. It'll find out all of the jewelry and all of the coins.
All right. Fisher CZ21.
CZ. Ooh, that one I liked. I really enjoyed the coil on that one. It was a concentric coil. I really liked it.
This is a brand that people don't usually, you don't usually hear this brand very often, but a 𝗘𝗪𝗪 Sand Shark.
Yeah, the Sand Shark was right up there on one of my top favorite PI machines.
Oh.
Also had a concentric coil. I loved the coil. Unfortunately, 𝗘𝗪𝗪, I think, has gone out of business. I think it happened like a year ago. Yeah.
That's not too many people use the 𝗘𝗪𝗪s, but kind of interesting machines.
Yeah. For sure.
What about the White's Beach Hunter?
Ooh, the Beach Hunter. That one was a good machine. It did fine for me here in the saltwater. I can't think of anything bad about it off the top of my head.
Okay, all right. 𝗥𝗔𝗗𝗓𝗥𝗥𝗏.
Ooh, yes, the impacts. I have a love-hate relationship with this machine. I love it because it's a great machine, but I also hate it because that's the machine that my husband found a wedding ring in our backyard with, and I didn't find it.
Oh, a little bit of animosity there. Oh.
Yes, but it's a great machine.
A little competition never hurt anybody.
Yeah, for sure.
No, you mentioned this earlier, the Go Find 20.
Yeah, Go Find 20. It's a great little starter entry-level machine, perfect for kids or someone getting into the hobby. It does pack up very, very nicely, so you can take it out like on a hike or put it in a backpack and just go. It's a nice little starter machine.
Now this one was kind of, I'm like, as in I was surprised. The XB Deus as a beach machine.
Yeah. The Deus, I was actually a huge fan of the size of the Deus. That one also collapses down to be able to fit into a backpack. My drawback with the Deus was when it comes to hunting in the water, you have to have a cable that runs from the coil to the computer of the machine because it works via Bluetooth. So
Yeah.
that's the only downside of using it in the water is now you have this extra cable to contend with.
Yeah, I am. A few months ago, I purchased the 𝗥𝗡𝗄𝗪𝗥. I absolutely love the machine, and I watched a video
Yeah.
about how to make it into a water machine. And like you said, the cable, and you got to wind it around. Then you got to put the actual box and a waterproof thing, wear it on your neck or something like that. Just seemed like a very big process in order to go in the water.
Yeah, exactly. It's not something, I mean, it's going to take a little bit of setup time. So
Yeah,
if you're trying
yeah,
to get out there quickly, probably not the machine to do it with.
yeah.
But it really is a great machine on land.
Yes.
I loved it on land.
What about the macro cruiser?
Ooh, the cruiser. I'm a huge fan of the cruiser. Also it's waterproof to 10 feet deep. That one I like because it does have an external speaker and I could hear it under the water without, it didn't have headphones.
Mm-hmm.
So that one was really nice to do snorkeling with.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Now this next one, Pirate Pro. Not really familiar with that one.
Yeah, the Pirate Pro, that one I got from Ron over at the Gold Digger Metal Detectors. I think they make it or they have some kind of connection as far as the manufacturing goes. Not very well known, but it was a nice little machine. I really didn't have many issues with it here in the saltwater, a couple of adjustments to the settings and stuff, and it was good to go.
Right on. You also got and I got to say, I purchased this next one, but I've not been able to use it yet because of COVID and non-traveling, but the 𝗥𝗔𝗗𝗓𝗪𝗥 Pulse Dive.
Yes, the Pulse Dive. Oh my gosh. This is probably like one of my more favorite runs recently, because it's very similar to the Vibratector that I had seen that got me into the hobby.
Yeah.
But this one you can interchange you can make it a pinpointer or a small handheld, with a little 4-inch disc, if you will. So that one is really nice. I've taken that one to the springs a couple of times and on one of my diving videos. And that one's really, really nice. And I heard a rumor that they were coming out with a larger coil for it. So bigger than the 4-inch, but I don't know what size of coil. And I don't know when it's going to happen, if it's going to happen, but it was a rumor that I heard.
Right on. And I think the last one was, and once again, I'm not familiar with this one either, but the AquaPulse.
Yeah, so the AquaPulse is, it's definitely, as far as price-wise, more high-end. I believe they're around $2,000 and up, depending on, what kind of accessories you get with it. So I don't really think your average detectorist is going to be using it. My understanding is some of the crews who are out looking for the treasure fleet over on the East Coast use some of these AquaPulse machines, the Aquascans. I don't know the names of the crews that are out there, but I believe some of them use these machines. So that's, they're specifically pulse induction. There's no bells and whistles. You can adjust this discrimination, and that's about it.
Okay. All right. Well, gee whiz, we just spoke about 15 metal detectors. Wow, and I can't believe that you actually remembered them, remembered your experiences with them all. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Right I did. I was worried. I was worried. I was like, uh-oh.
I gotta say, going back to your videos, I gotta say, I think one of the best videos, as far as content and just the whole experience on your channel, one of the best videos was you scuba diving on the Circle of Heroes. Now I don't know if some of the people in the chat, if you've not watched the video diving on the Circle of Heroes, absolutely incredible. Now, just what was the Circle of Heroes, and how did you feel diving there?
So what it is, it's kind of like a little memorial set up to honor service members from all the branches throughout several decades of history. It was put together by an individual here in the area, and I don't know their name, but it was done all through donations. So, families, companies, they would donate to have these statues made with the intention of, sinking them down and having this little underwater memorial where people could go dive it. And my understanding is the hopes is to be able to take veterans, with PTSD to dive this. And when you're underwater, it's completely quiet, with the exception of hearing your air bubbles coming out of your breather. Completely quiet. The water is like very still down there. It's a really incredible experience, and I highly recommend it to anybody who is in the area. And if you're not, it's definitely worth taking a trip out here. But to dive it and see it and experience it, it was really, like a once in a lifetime opportunity. And it's definitely something I'll never forget. There were 12 down there when we went, and they're supposed to be putting 12 more to complete it. I don't know if it's been completed yet. They might still be doing the funding for the second 12 batch of statues. But once it's done, we're definitely going to go dive it again.
Oh, right on, right on. So yeah, I highly recommend that. If you have not seen that video, great video to watch. And it's very surreal, because you can actually, well, you showed the inscriptions on the different statues, and it was really, really, and the noise of the water in the background, it was just absolutely incredible. So you're a beach detector, you're a water detector, but you've kind of done some land detecting. Like, you're just not all about water. You went to North Carolina.
Yeah, we did. We went for a trip up there, and that's where we know the individuals who own Parker Farms, and they let me do some detecting there. And then we did magnet fishing there. And, that was just a good time. And during the magnet fishing, I mostly was poking fun at, all of the relic hunters, because those guys go out and they'll find, stuff from I don't even know, the 1600s and old battle bullets and stuff. And, I'm, obviously jealous. I'm not going to find that in Florida. So every little thing that we were pulling up from the river, we were like, oh, this is definitely from the 1700s for sure. It's gotta be. Funny. Yeah, it was a good time.
That's funny. You mentioned magnet fishing. Is that my general experience has been that watching videos, it's kind of hit and miss, mostly junk. What about yourself?
Yeah, no, I agree. That's about been my experience with magnet fishing too. I've really not found, probably the coolest stuff we found was in North Carolina in that river, only because it used to be logging. They would go logging up and down that river. So some of the metal parts that we found were from, either some of the logging equipment, or I think there used to be an old railroad that crossed over the river nearby. So, railroad bits and stuff.
Yeah.
But overall, my experience magnet fishing has been mostly garbage, if anything, really.
Yeah. I think to continually go out magnet fishing, you got to be very persistent.
Yeah, and find the right spots too.
Yes, that too. That absolutely. You posted a video where you actually went to you took a trip to the Bahamas, and you brought your detector. How was that, traveling with your metal detector?
Yeah, so traveling with it was fine. We took our boat to the Bahamas. So we left out of Pompano Beach and we crossed over to Bimini in our boat. And so traveling with it was fine. I do wish I had taken, well, at the time I wasn't dive certified, but I do wish I had gone diving while there. The waters were super clear, which made it look like they weren't very deep when in fact they were very deep. So I wasn't able to, really get down deep enough to where probably some of the stuff was hiding, waiting to be found.
Yeah.
So I do, kind of regret that. Even the snorkeling, I did snorkeling with my detector, but some of the drop-offs from the beach out into the swimming water, I mean, in a matter of 3 feet, you went from ankle deep to neck deep water.
Yeah.
So I couldn't, really do much water detecting, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's too bad. Did you find anything interesting on the beach there?
No, there I only found like it looked like melted aluminum cans. So people probably did bonfires on the beach and threw their cans in it, because that's pretty much all that I found. I didn't even find any coins.
Sorry for your luck.
Yeah.
Now, you've detected with some I guess you've collabed a few times. I saw one with you and Jocelyn. How did that go?
Yeah, that was a great little experience. It was a couple of days. They came down, I think they were here for like 3 or 4 days. And we did some beach hunting, and then they took me to do some land hunting. We teamed up with the Central Florida Metal Detecting Club here over in Orlando. And they took us to do some land hunting too. So I kind of got to experience Jocelyn's world, and she got to experience my world. So it was fun. We both got to learn things. It was really hilarious. There was, we took them out to Coin Island, and her boyfriend found, I think their very first coin they found, it was a quarter, but it was completely covered in gunk. And they found it, and they were saying, "Oh, this is an 1816, I don't know, half dollar or something." And I was like, "No, that's a quarter." And they were like, "No, look at the size. It's definitely this one super rare coin." I'm like, "That's definitely a quarter."
Yeah,
so it was just kind of a fun experience, them never hunting the beach. They had no idea what a corroded coin looked like.
Yeah,
so it was fun.
That's kind of funny. Right on.
Yeah.
Now, as far as we talked earlier about metal detectors, one of your latest videos, and I think you might have even mentioned it on one of your last videos, was the Garrett Apex. Now, everybody is like, that is like the biggest thing to happen in metal detecting is the introduction of the Garrett Apex. What's been your experience with the Apex? Now, I'm not asking you like, just what's been your experience with the Apex?
Yeah, so far it's been really great. I've not had any issues with it. The only downside is it's not 100% waterproof, but you can still, work around it. You can still get into the water and do a little bit of, wading, depending on how tall you are, maybe waist deep or so, not much deeper than that. But I've had a great experience with it so far. I've found a bunch of coins with it already. I found a wrecked boat while using it, so that was pretty cool.
That was yesterday's video, was it not?
Yeah, I posted it yesterday.
Yeah, right on. So there was no problem with the coil being submerged. It's just you can't put the box. Is that correct? The control box?
Correct. Yes, the coil was fine. They do have some settings in the machine where you can set it to hunt in salt water. So that was really nice. It was not chattery, at least the settings that I had it on, it was not chattery at all. I was able to dig, targets. I think I've gone 2 or 3 scoops deep and found targets that it's, pinpointing. So yeah, it's been really great so far.
What about weight-wise? Do you find it kind of middle of the road, or, I mean, it's no 𝗥𝗡𝗖𝗪 as far as weight?
Yeah, no, it's not as light as the Deus, but it's pretty dang close if I had to take a guess. I think it's less than 3 pounds, so it's, definitely on the lighter end.
What's the heaviest detector you ever went detecting with?
Oh gosh. So I think that I've done a video with, it would have to be my Sea Hunter. Or it could be a close tie between the Sea Hunter and the Aquascan. Both of them have very heavy boxes. But I do have a detector that I've not done a video with yet. It's the ATX from Garrett.
Oh,
that thing is a beast. That is
yeah.
mad heavy.
When I see that, I think it's somebody in the army clearing a minefield or something. That's the picture in my head. It's just
Yes.
so,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
You are
you
right.
have
That's
that,
what,
eh?
yeah, they use it.
Oh, so you have
I
that.
do have it.
Ah,
Yeah, I do have it. I tried doing a video with it, I think earlier this year, and we took the drone out and everything, but the area I was hunting had just been cleared of a bunch of trees. So I was like, this is going to be a great place to go. And it wasn't. It was terrible. There was nothing there, and so bad that I've not posted any videos of it, and I've not been able to take it out anywhere just yet. So I do still have it, and it eventually will be on my channel.
Are you planning on taking that to the beach?
I don't know. I could. I don't remember if it's fully waterproof. I've had it for so dang long, but it's the only problem is it's so heavy. You have to use a harness.
Yeah.
And even with the harness, I think I made it 20 or 30 minutes before I had to switch arms, and then another 20 or 30 minutes, and then I was like, okay, I'm done. This is way too heavy.
Because that goes deep, does it not?
Yes. Yeah, it can go very, very deep. It's, I believe it is also pulse induction, if I remember correctly. There's not a lot of bells and whistles on it. So it is, I mean, it's a bomb sniffer is what they use it for. So.
That's exactly what it looks like. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw Gsy, Garrett, I guess Garrett provided her with one of those. And I think the detector is actually bigger than Gsy is.
I wouldn't be surprised. It's a massive machine. It's big.
You know what? I look forward to you posting a video with that, because once again, it makes you relatable.
Yeah, for sure.
Right on. Kind of gonna switch things up a little bit. Have you ever gone bottle digging? Do people do that where you are?
I'm sure they do. I've never done it. I think the closest I've been to it was when I collabed with 𝗨𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪 during one of the land hunts. We did find a couple of old bottles, but that's the closest I've been to it. Do you dabble in that? Like, how do you do it?
Oh, I've gone a few times. I have a friend in New York State. I've driven there Metal Pirate Girl. I've driven there a couple times. I gotta say, getting dirty digging in a dump is like so underrated. Seriously. I could totally spend the entire day digging in a dump. Seriously.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Like, I don't know if being in Florida, I mean, there's differences from like the South and the North, but I don't know if you even have dumps or old dumps there, but wow, just nothing like digging in a dump, finding a really cool bottle or a marble. And yeah,
wow, yeah, I bet.
Getting all dirty, like, really. If you ever, seriously, if you ever get the chance to, I would recommend that to everyone. If you ever get a chance to get down and dirty in a dump and dig for some bottle. And the thing is, you just never know what you're gonna pull out of a dump.
Yeah,
just some incredible stuff. Seriously, incredible.
Yeah, I bet.
You'd probably enjoy it. And you know what? You just need all you need is a little hand digger. You don't need any equipment whatsoever.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I guess, yeah, you're right. You really don't need anything but a little hand shovel. But then the hard part is, like, how do you know where to go? Do you just pick a random spot and just start digging? I guess
that's the beauty. Once you know that there was a dump somewhere, all you do is, you just sit at a spot, or crouch or whatever, whatever. And then you just start digging. And you know what? After a while, 3 hours, 4 hours have gone by, and you're just like happier than anything. It's really incredible.
Yeah.
It really is. So what would you say that you had, what's your most, I guess, memorable find, other than that ring return, which is pretty cool? Your most memorable find?
I mean, I probably honestly the ring return or maybe the broken up boat that I found. I wish I had more or like something cooler, but yeah, those are probably it, honestly.
Have you ever found anything like super weird?
Ooh, weird.
Yeah, weird. Just like,
I
what the
don't
heck is this doing
think,
here?
yeah, not really, not off the top of my head that I can think of. I once found a lock, like one of those old school, like with the twisty knob that you used on your school lockers. I once found one of those, which kind of was like, why is a lock at the beach? I guess that's probably my weirdest find.
All right. Do you have any
Yeah.
do you It's all relative. It's all relative. Do you have anything on your bucket list that now what about your okay, we're gonna do two different kind of bucket lists. One is kind of beach related. Is there something that
Yeah.
you still haven't dug that you really, really want to dig? Is it really called digging, I guess, on the beach? What's something that you want to find that you haven't found yet on the beach or in the water?
Um, yeah, I would love to find a gold coin,
Oh,
ideally from the Spanish fleet, the
oh
treasure
my
fleet.
goodness.
That would be
Yeah.
super amazing to find a
Oh,
coin from that.
yeah. Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah.
Have you ever if you had the opportunity to go diving with some of these salvage hunters, would you take it? Would you go?
Yes, and actually, fun fact, I was supposed to do that this year, but then everything kind of went in the toilet. So, yeah, we had worked it out. I started working it last year to try and get out with a salvage crew, and everything was kind of, tentatively set that come April, May timeframe, we were going to get together and I was going to go get to dive with one of these salvage crews. And then COVID happened. So I
Yeah,
haven't gotten to do it yet,
yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah. Well, hopefully,
Yeah.
they'll get it under control, and that would be so cool. My goodness.
That would be amazing. Yeah. I'm still going to try and do it. I want to do it. It's going to happen, I hope.
Oh, right on, right on. That would be wonderful
Yeah,
experience. What
for
about
sure.
yeah? Now, have you ever thought like and I think you kind of briefly mentioned this earlier, the land detectors, like it would be pretty cool to dig like an old relic from the 1600s or something from the Civil War.
Yeah.
Is there one thing in particular that you would like to, if given the opportunity, to dig on land?
No, there's nothing really specific. Honestly, any kind of coin with a date would be cool because then, you have a date and you're just like, okay, yeah, this coin is like 160 years old. I can prove it by the date on here.
Yeah,
But honestly, any kind of like, I know a lot of people find like buttons and belt buckles and stuff like that,
yeah,
which are cool, but without a date, you really don't know how old it is versus the coin, like because of the date on the coin. So
exactly, exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Um, is there someone you'd like to collab with?
Oh gosh. I mean, part of me wants to collab with 𝗥𝗔𝗗𝗜𝗪𝗢
Oh
because
my
he's one of
goodness.
the channels that finds all of these amazing things on every single video. And I'm like, you need to take me where you're detecting or where you're, scavenging through because I don't know how you're finding like 5 cell phones and 3 dozen pairs of glasses in every single, video.
Mr. D Almighty, get in touch with She Detector. Let's make it
Yeah,
happen. Let's make it happen.
for sure.
Right on. Now you currently have 29,000 around 300 and something subscribers. Did you ever think
Yeah.
that that humble YouTube channel that you created 5 years ago would like turn into this?
No, of course not. I mean, did I think like, yeah, it'd be cool to one day have like millions of subscribers? Yeah, sure, of course. It's kind of like how everyone's like, I'd like to win the lottery one day. It's something that you'd like, but you never really think it would happen. I mean, just under 30,000 subscribers, that's a lot of people,
Yeah.
for like someone who didn't know what they were doing when they first started out. So, yeah.
What do you have any aspirations for your channel, for 𝗔𝗔𝗓𝗪? What do you wish or would like to see happen in the future?
Yeah, so I would love for my channel to keep growing and, one day get to have millions of subscribers. It is a little bit harder. I do have a full-time job Monday through Friday, so that does take up most of my time. And it does require a lot of time commitment. I mean, even with your live streams and all your videos, it requires a time commitment that, eats into family time and, having fun time. I mean, detecting is fun, but like the detecting is really only part of it, because then I've got to look at all the video clips that I took, edit the video, put it together, upload it.
Yeah.
And it does take time. And a lot of, people they really don't see that aspect of it. They see, oh, 𝗔𝗔𝗓𝗪 posted a video today.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, that's it. You don't see all the stuff that goes into putting the video together. So I would love to have my channel get bigger. It's just, it's a lot of time commitment that I've not been able to put in to help kind of grow it to be bigger.
Yeah, and you know what? And as well, you have to, and you read your comments, and you got to answer comments, and then you got to deal with comments that, should be dealt with in a certain way.
Yeah, for sure. And, that is one aspect of my channel that I really do slack on, not because I want to, but I just don't have the time, I'm lucky if I get a video out. And honestly, this year has been really hard. I've been very inconsistent with my videos, and I hate it. I hate that it's not been consistent. And yeah, even answering the comments and the emails and stuff, I just don't have the time. And it's almost like I want to hire somebody to do it so that, there's that interaction, but it's really hard.
Yeah, and I think that's something that a lot of people don't get is there's like a lot of post-production time, more so than the time detecting, that has to be put in.
Yeah.
I mean, editing a video, sometimes, depending on the video, for me, it could be like many hours.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Yeah. Yep. We're kind of winding down the show. If you could remind everyone how they can follow your adventures and keep up with your adventures on social media.
Yeah, definitely. So it's really super easy. Like, you can either on YouTube just search for 𝗔𝗔𝗓𝗪, and I'll be the first channel to pull up, or you can even go to Google and search for 𝗔𝗔𝗓𝗪. Google will pull up my YouTube channel, my Facebook page, and I think my Instagram page. And then you can just like and follow wherever you want to, and you'll see my posts and stuff, and you can come along on my adventures and see what metal detector I'm using or what gear I'm trying out, and kind of come along with me.
Wonderful. I want to personally thank you for joining us today. You have an incredible channel, and like I said, 100% relatable, and people that watch, it's something that they can see themselves doing, because it's not like you're doing stuff that's, like that's incredible or perhaps not believable. Every one of your videos is 100% believable, and I think that is what makes you so so relatable. So I really thank you for that. I want to thank everyone that joined us today in the chat. There's lots of new names in there. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to really say hello to everyone and to welcome you into the chat, but I do appreciate you watching. And like I said before, if this was the first time you've ever sat in on one of my chats, thank you for doing that. Thumbs up would be appreciated. And if you would consider subscribing to the channel, I would really, really appreciate that. Please join me next week. Next Sunday, my very special guests will be Dirt Diggers UK. Scott and Kimmy will be live in my house, and join me for that. So Kay, I'm gonna let you say goodbye to everybody and send us away. How about that?
Great. Yeah, definitely. Thank you. Yeah, thank you again for having me on for Sunday morning chat. Like I said, this is my first time doing a live stream, so I was really excited, and I'm glad I came on with you. Thanks to everybody who took some time out of their day to come hang out with Liz and I. We really appreciate it. And hopefully you kind of got a chance to get to know both of us a little bit better and kind of see, you know, what metal detecting is kind of all about. So yeah, thank you again. And hopefully you guys are able to do some detecting where you're at if the ground isn't frozen. Hopefully you're at the beach.
I wish I was at the beach.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you again for joining me, and have a great rest of the day. And I look forward to your next video.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you again. Have a good day as well.
All right. Everyone take care, and I'll see you next Sunday. Thank you, Kay, She Detector.
Thanks.
Get your official Diggy Connect merchandise at Teespring. Mugs, t-shirts, hoodies, and more. Remember that every purchase you make helps to support the channel. Check out the link in the description down below.